Time's up. Let's do this.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Babael. Joining me today is Katips. We're bringing you the Singapore BlizzCon Community Qualifier, in which top 2 of this entire tournament will get seeded directly into the BlizzCon Americas Tournament itself, which is a big challenge here for all CE players. It's really interesting, and I'm really excited because we're seeing a lot of good plays today, and also interesting deck. We got the cancer, we got the anti-cancer, like what Katips pointed out just now in the break, and more importantly, we have a special guest today. This is not a show match, it's an official tournament. Silfer from HearthstoneSEA is going to be playing against cullingdash, which is representing one of the most cancerous combination ever.
Yep, he's running the Miracle Rogue, Zoo, and Hunter. He has all 3, so we're going to see his Hunter first, cullingdash on the bottom board on the right, and Silfer on the top board on the left, with a token Druid running Shade of Naxxramas and Echoing Ooze. So it's similar to what we saw in the last game, where Shade of Naxxramas and Ooze make an appearance, and then you kind of save up until you get enough tokens on the board, and then you get your Savage Roars, and then you Wreck Face. So pretty much that's what Silfer is running, one of the more modern Naxxramas token Druids. So yeah, so he gets his Ooze, he gets his Shade of Naxxramas. How's cullingdash's hand looking at the moment?
Pretty interesting. Lower Thab, okay, maybe not so interesting. Lower Thab, Iron Big Owl, the flare that you just saw right there, and the arrow to the face of Malfurion. Directly, Rexar is pissed at a Druid right there.
Rexar is not having it. And Silfer, of course, gonna go into... Oh, okay, so he has an option to... He has an option to coin into Shade of Naxxramas, which I think would be good. And he can coin into Shade, and he can actually drop Ooze as well. So how would you feel about that play?
I like that. I like the coin into Shade because it's 1 turn early, which means that effectively you see a lot more turns in this Shade of Naxxramas, and
yep.
Generally cullingdash, it's kind of like the same story. They don't really have bot clear.
Yep.
If you realize most of the cancer decks, they don't have bot clear. So if the Shade goes on, it's a mind game. It's like this is a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, exactly. And the only thing he would have in a standard like mid-range Hunter is Deadly Shot, and not always consistent with what it hits. So Silver's gonna play it safe. He's just gonna drop a News for now. I kind of wanted to see Shade, to be honest.
Yep,
but
Shade.
He's gonna let it
out.
pass for now.
Shade's out.
Maybe.
I think maybe because he's playing around stuff like what he said, Daily Shot. You don't know for sure if cullingdash runs Daily Shot in his deck. If it does, it's gonna be pretty devastating. So therefore, he doesn't want to take the risk. He's gonna play Shade right now, which is gonna spiral, and slowly cullingdash is in a bit of a spot right now.
Yep, but Silfer has to also play around the fact that Unleash the Hounds might come at any time. Fortunately for him, Shade of Naxxramas can just sit there all game pretty much. And yeah, so Black Knight and Big Game Hunter are not really gonna give much value to Silfer at the moment. So he can just sit pretty much and go for face, armor up. He can also... I don't know. How do you feel about what do you think the threshold is that Silfer should play around in terms of minions, without having so that cullingdash doesn't overcommit? I mean, so that he doesn't overcommit into something like Unleash the Hounds.
Okay, I don't like this Harvest Golem. I don't think it's necessary. I think he needs to set up space for taunt. The thing is that he doesn't have the taunt, and he's a little afraid of that right now. This is gonna be a 4-card draw here. It's turn 5. You don't play something that's 2-3 with no value whatsoever. But here comes Lower Thab, in fact, and it seems like cullingdash is really interesting play. He's gonna deny and innovate into Ancient of Lore. I think that's the only reason why I play Lower Thab right now, and also no swipe whatsoever to deal with this golden Lower Thab. He crafted that, by the way.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
So nothing
like
Silfer
you said,
can do here.
You don't really want to put so many minions on the board on turn 5 against the Hunter, because that's a buzzard into Unleash the Hounds for turn 5.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Silfer, well, more or less, unfortunately, Lothab was played instead, and he has no options for spells. He can't really do much. It's out of range of Big Game Hunter. It's not tunned up for Black Knight. I think he can just face for now, unless he wants to deal with this right away.
I think he's he's taking his time, sorry, to think about it, because he doesn't have a play this turn. If you realize, all of his cards there are not optimal for play. Big Game Hunter is the only thing he can play in this turn, but if he plays Big Game, he doesn't have a target to shoot at, so that's the problem.
And that's also begging for another. That's also begging for another Unleash the Hounds doggy. So generally don't want to.
Just gonna go all in, and a Shade's gonna come out. This is a mistake. The silence is gonna go down as well.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he should have been a little bit more patient with that shit, but I think he's just nervous because he doesn't have any minion in his hand. Buzz it, draw, Hunter's Mark, and that's like a 4/4 easy kill. I think not even Hunter's Mark, just throw out the Die Doggy and just let them wreck. I think it's good. No, okay, gonna go Stone Task Ball instead, which is interesting. He's gonna Hunter's Mark that for sure now, and I guess yeah, it's gonna deal 1 damage there, and it's also gonna do 1 damage there. Opting to keep the boar alive. I think he likes bacon just like you do.
Yes, absolutely. So he's gonna leave his Stone Tusk Boar in play, just getting a card draw out of it, dropping Silfer down to 19. So okay, so we have a second minion now. Well, a useful minion now for Silfer. He can use it to take out the Buzzard. He can hero power on the Stone Tusk Boar. Well, he can use Wrath, of course. Yeah, definitely. I forgot that was one of the earliest cards he drew. Okay, Druid of the Claw. Now we're getting somewhere. He can hero power out.
Now we're getting somewhere.
The Stone Tusk Boar. Maybe save the.
No. I want him to coin the Druid of the Claw. I think he needs a minion on the board. He needs to wrestle back bot control. It's only a 1/1 on the board there. It's not a big deal. He can still get bot control if he plays Druid of the Claw here.
Wouldn't that be a waste against Hunter's Mark though?
Already used up.
Yeah. What if there was this? Oh well, that means
Still
his
good.
second Druid of the Claw would be still good. Okay, yeah.
Oh,
fair
his
enough,
Ancient
yeah.
of Lore is all gonna be alive, and everything else is still gonna be alive. He's also gonna charge this. Wow. Okay, going aggro.
He wants to end this as fast as possible.
Yeah, it's also I think innovate into Druid of the Claw. So okay, he hero powered, which is why he needs the coin innovate. And now for Culling Dash, there's the Haunted Creeper. There is no Houndmaster. That's very, very unfortunate. I have to point that out. He doesn't have a weapon as well, so if he plays Freezing Trap, I don't think it's going to be ideal.
Yep, because that's going to be another fresh charger for the next turn. So not exactly ideal, like you said.
And he doesn't get a charge for his weapon, but here I guess you can play the Scavenging Hyena. I don't think it's a bad thing to play Scavenging Hyena, but I think he's saving it for the full combo. It's interesting though, he doesn't have Web Spinner yet in his hand, so it's not a perfect play. He's also lacking the Houndmaster, Savannah High Main. He has the combo, but it's really more reactive right now than responsive. He needs Silfer to put up minions, but Silfer is not really willing to put up minions. The second Echoing Ooze, normally you save it for the what do you call that? Mark of the Wild.
So if he tries to pop the Haunted Creeper with the 4/4, it's gonna just Freezing Trap him. How do you feel about maybe silencing the Haunted Creeper and then swiping?
Silencing.
Oh no, sorry. Silencing it first and then. No, not swipe. Sorry. Silencing it first and maybe hero power attack.
He can
and then
swipe,
dropping
but
loose.
that's just throwing the game away, I think.
Yeah.
First of all, you have to find out what secret that is. By attacking, you know that it's not Explosive Trap, and it should be Freezing Trap, or if you run Snake Trap or Snipe. So it's pretty scary because some hunters they do run Snipe, and Snipe ruin a lot of games. We've seen Winning Moon lose because of Snipe.
Yeah.
So
My gosh, that play from 2 weeks ago. Craziness.
Still remember that. So he's gonna test out with this, and it's not a Snipe. He's also not gonna attack because he knows that it's highly possible that it's a Freezing Trap. So Savannah High Main, yes, one big minion finally comes out here, but the silence is a little bit expensive on the 1/2.
Yep. So pretty decent board control for Silfer. Pretty tough minions at 4 health, and Culling Dash.
He has 11 damage at any point in time here.
Yeah. So Silfer just needs pretty much a Savage Roar to close this out. He's nearing turn 9, which is
Sorry. I think it's a 12, not 11. 12 damage. So he still isn't close to lethal yet. Remotely close. And I would like him to play Scavenging Hyena here. I think that the silence is already used on one Death Rattle minion. You play the Scavenging Hyena. No, sorry. The Savannah High Main. What am I saying? You play Savannah High Main, and he is going to have a lot of trouble dealing with that.
Yep. And Savannah Hyman, of course, extremely efficient in that it's out of range of Big Game Hunter. And trying to deal with it is almost always a 2-for-1 because you silence it and you still have to kill 6-5.
Oh, okay. He's going for the Timber Wolf play with the Scavenging Hyena instead of the Savannah Hymen, which is still okay here. The only problem here is the swipe is going to kill that. And so much value for Silfer, which I think he's going to do. Swipe is just going to kill the 7-4. And then one, I think Culling Dash, it just didn't occur to him that there might be a swipe there.
Yeah, and it's just right out of range of oh man, that's gonna be some nice value for Silfer. It's gonna take out the Scavenging Hyena and the Knight. I mean, and the Timberwolf. That's gonna suck. Okay, testing the waters first with Freezing Trap. Swipe's probably gonna go down now, and he can play an Echoing Ooze to follow it up and Hero Power. Okay, so he's saving his swipe. He's gonna save a swipe. Okay, actually I like this play much better. Anytime
there might be some
Knight
connection issue here on Culling Dash board. Let me just try and see if I can pull back the feed. Seems like he is somehow disconnecting.
But just to while you're catching up, so basically Silfer has just played Big Game Hunter to take out the Scavenging Hyena and Spectral Knight, one of my favorite new cards from Nextremis. Very, very difficult to deal with. He now has board control 4-2 and a 4-6. And Culling Dash is down to 17. Not exactly the best position to be, and he can't cast any spells on the Spectral Knight. He's going to go with Savannah Hymen and kill Command. Is he going to go for face?
No, it's going to kill it. Yeah, it's going to kill the Big Game Hunter, which is a little bit wasted, but I think he's now struggling for board control, which is why I actually really like this 6-5 play in the earlier turn.
Yep.
Now if Lower Thab comes out, I think Swipe is going to be used for facial reconstruction purposes, and it would be lethal here. There is no spell he could use, and he's going to have to sacrifice Leroy to trade, or maybe even the Hymen to trade. Just to stay alive. So it's still not game, but it's close. We are getting there.
Yep. We're about 2 turns away from resolving this. I'm trying to think of the best play. Yeah, I think Lower Thab into Ooze and just go for face. You're absolutely right. He's not going to be able to cast a second kill command. Oh, well, he can cast it, but it's going to cost way too much. And not leaving him any options. And it is lethal next turn, So any options on the side of Culling Dash? Is there any... Okay, so there is...
He's going to have to play Leroy.
Yeah.
He's going to have to play Leroy. And I think you have to Leroy here. You Leroy here, you run Leroy into the 5-5, you run the 6-5 into the 4-6, and you leave him with 4 minions. He can only deal 8 damage next turn at maximum, even with the Keep Up the Growth. That's just 6, I think. It's not enough to kill you, but it's a huge sacrifice. You are losing one of the main way to win this game. But the good news is, however, you can Unleash the Hound the turn after and come back with 4 minions on the board. You get 4 hounds. I am really sad that he threw out the Timberwolf like that. I thought that Timberwolf was saved, for moments like this. But unfortunately, I just don't like this moment here for Culling Dash. I thought that he actually had a pretty good shot at this game. Don't like the Scavenging Hyena. I actually kind of like the Savannah Hymen play, and that I think is the defining moment. He's actually going for my play here. So, oh no, actually, don't do that. Oh no. He could have kept. He could have kept that. He could have kept the Hymen alive by running the 6-5 into the 4-6 and Leroy into the Lower Thab. Now it's just 2 2s, 2 2s.
Okay.
You see how good it would be if he has the team move right now. That would be like 4 + 2, 6 extra damage, and 4 in the field, that's 10. And 4 from the doggies there. What the hell, right? He would have won this game already, but...
Yeah.
Man, and now even all the trade-ins... Oh god. And the Spectral
And another Spectral Knight coming down. Okay.
Damn,
that's...
damn.
Yeah. Spectral Knight. I love Spectral Knight.
Well, Hunter's Mark though, but no spell can hit him, so...
Yeah.
It's a spell, and the Web Spinner. I think it's game. You cannot silence the Spectral Knight, can you? Actually, you can. Wow, and now he can use Hunter's Mark, so he's still alive in this game, surprisingly.
Yep. So that was a great play, actually.
Yeah.
I want to point out that was a great play.
I want to point out that was a great play in a lot of bad plays. Okay,
Yes.
maybe not bad play, guys. I'm gonna try and make it my New Year resolution that I'm not gonna say so much negative stuff on stream, but I feel that he could have done that a lot better. How does that sound? You guys accept that?
That sounds much more diplomatic, I think. So Ancient of Lore coming down now for Silfer. It's gonna, I think he can draw into a finisher option, especially Culling Dash doesn't have any cards anymore. Just get that advantage. Yeah, take out the 2-1. There's Savage Roar.
Oh man. Savage Roar here will not win this game, will it? 2-4. Actually, it might, but he doesn't have the mana for that.
Yep. 2 mana off. Lethal.
Liable for 1 turn. Can he trust Culling Dash with 1 turn? That's the question here. It's actually gonna give.
Okay.
Oh, you really want to give him a King Crush? Are you kidding me? Does he get a King Crush? Oh, he gets Mike's. I'm sorry, Mike's is just not gonna be good enough.
Yeah, that's it. So, well, pretty much nothing else left for Culling Dash, right? He's used both of
1
his
mana
Unleash the
off
Hounds.
Animal Companion. Oh shit. If it's only not that expensive a beast, probably.
Yeah, that's it. Culling Dash pretty much ran out of options. Had to use Unleash the Hounds defensively instead of offensively, and pretty much couldn't find his footing. Congratulations, Silfer, for your second Savage Roar. Or his first Golden Savage Roar, rather.
Pretty good stuff there. So, we're now gonna wait for the second game. This is still the first game in the BO3. So once they go into the second game, it should look pretty exciting. And Katips, what do you think of that series so far?
Well, it's nice to see that Token Druid has a chance against Hunter. So you saw it right there. Just play your cards right, get maximum value, control the board, and make sure you play around Unleash the Hound, and there is a good chance for Token Druid to pretty much have enough good position or save up enough threats so that you can take out Hunter. So it's not unbeatable. So it's good to see that there is a chance from other decks, especially Druid right now is falling a little bit out of favor. Ramp is getting eaten alive, and this new token version though is a little bit dangerous. I like Shade of Naxxramas, I like Echoing Ooze, so a lot of the nice Naxxramas cards are making their way into this new token Druid, and it's a threat. You can see that it's a very interesting deck to see and to play. It's not as one-dimensional as before, where you kind of just save up your Power of the Wild, you save it up for when your Violet Teacher comes down. So it's a little bit more dynamic. Shade of Naxxramas can be an early or a mid-game threat. You have your Spiders, you have your Echoing Ooze, a lot of ways to fill up the board. So yeah, pretty happy with this Druid. So Culling Dash playing the second of the Cancer series, Warlock. How do you feel about this Warlock?
I actually second of the Cancer series. I just caught that. I think that this is actually a handlock. It's not that cancerous after all.
Okay. I'll take his chances with a Token Druid. I'm not so sure about the chances there, because the high burst ability is just too high sometimes. He can drop them down. He can drop him down to around 18 or 20, and then just take him out with Savage Roar, which he just drew into.
Yeah, that's crazy. So the casting crew have its questions with the viability of handlock in the current meta, but of course I'm roping you in this discussion as well. But we'll see if it's still viable. I don't think it is anymore, but again,
there are versions of it that are still viable, but it's not as good as something like a Naxxu, or it doesn't play well against Hunter because of the Hunter's Mark and silences. Yeah, so Silfer, does he want to flood his board right now? Yep, here comes. Oh well, okay, he's got to go for Shade of Naxxramas play. Just let it sit there, let it stew, and then when the time is right, that can come out and take out a giant by itself, I think.
Yep. So I think that the trick here is really to let your Shade of Naxxramas grow as much as possible, and now Silfer can effectively look towards playing nothing. He doesn't have a play this turn. Hunter Creeper, Hero Power, and this attack.
Yeah.
With the Shade, he really doesn't really have to care about much of what Culling Dash has to offer.
Yeah, he can just let it sit there. It can take out a Taunter later on. It can be his finisher for later on. But the important thing is to just leave it as a threat.
Mountain Giant, though.
Yeah. Mountain Giant, AKO. Okay, I mean, sorry, AKO. That's not even a word.
And double Siphon Soul in the hand. There's also the Void Caller. This could be a bit of a new... Yes, this is the one with Jiraxis, I think.
Yeah. Although the version with Jiraxis usually runs 2 Moltons and no Mountains. But maybe it's just a modification with a standard hand lock with the new next cards.
Yeah.
That said, 8-8 on the board. It's going to be... how is he going to deal with this one for now? Can he Defender of Argus his Spider first? Of course, it's not going to activate Ton in the Shade of Extremis, but...
Oh, it's going to trade straight for that. Oh, wow. Oof, that's actually a pretty expensive trade. He's just losing whatever lead that he had so far in this game. And another Mountain Giant is surely going to consolidate a position. So Culling Dash had a pretty good starting hand here. With almost all the Giants that he needs in his whole life.
Oh my gosh.
Falling in for the roll call.
So Silfer not having very many defensive or offensive options. A little bit of a bind for him right now. Nothing much. Okay, he can put up some defense with Druid of the Claw. But other than that, that's a lot of Giants.
Yeah, that's a lot of Giants there indeed. Probably Wrath for 3. And then... Oh, sorry, Wrath for 1 and get cut draw. Alright, that's fine. It's fair. Unfortunately, that's a Black Knight. It's not going to do anything for you.
Well, maybe... Well, that could come in useful if Sunfury Defender comes down or Defender of Argus. Maybe Culling Dash overcommits.
Well, it's still going to be tricky, though. He has got Sludge Belcher right now. And there goes the taunt. He's deciding, do I want to save the Giant? I would recommend him to save the Giant because we know that there is a Black Knight. We know that the Black Knight is going to chop down 8-7 for free. And does Culling Dash want to do that? That's the question here.
Yep.
He can also, he doesn't really need to taunt up right now. I think that he can actually go for heal. 1 Molten Giant is not good enough. You want to wait for 2. So I think that healing here is actually a pretty good play. And there's a choice here in healing the Mountain Giant or healing himself. He's actually going for taunt. So he's throwing out the one and only taunt preventing minion in his hand right there. And this is going to be a pretty simple Black Knight play.
Yep, so that's the Twilight Drake's going to go down next turn, but there is still the threat of the 8-5. He can put up the... Oh no, he doesn't have enough mana for anything, pretty much. He has to get rid of the 4-10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no mana enough to clear out the 8-5. That's going to be problematic.
Huge problem.
To say the least.
Yeah, huge problem.
And if,
so, sorry?
Yeah, and if more Giants are in the way, that's a lot of trouble.
Yeah, well, Molten Giant is in the hand. So Culling Dash will not look to heal himself so soon. He also has double Siphon Soul. He's more obsessed with maintaining bug control because we all know the the potential destructive power that Savage Roar has. And he's down to 21 already. So I would want him to play Sludge Belcher with Coin next turn into Earthring Faucet to heal up the Giant, because that effectively is the only thing that is helping him maintaining this board control. So Black Knight comes out, wise choice there by Culling Dash to taunt up the 4-10. And in fact, Silfer gonna go for trade, not gonna go for face here, because he's also afraid of Molten Giant. So this is a little bit of a back and forth thing going on.
Yeah. So Culling Dash, I mean, still in a healthy position with his health.
Big plays.
24. Sludge Belcher is gonna be very problematic, of course.
So
Black Knight's already been used.
Yeah. Sorry. So Culling Dash did the play that I just mentioned. He healed up the Giant, he attacked with it, and I think now 8-3, big problem for Silfer. I don't think he's got a way to deal with this.
Yep, so if Culling Dash gets his second Farseer and heals up his Giant, that's going to be really problematic. Not much defense on the side of Silfer unless he decides to put down the Druid of the Claw. Maybe he can also put down Lotheb and Ooze, but I think he needs to put down some defense first.
I think Lotheb is very good to deny Siphon Soul. So the real thing here is when do you want to play lower tap to deny that? Now he can draw a card because he's at 30 full health, Innovate's pretty useful, Spectral Knight's pretty good. But that also means he doesn't have a play for this turn. Even with the Innovate, there is nothing he could really do.
Yep.
Not even set up a taunt, so...
Oh man, that's gonna hurt.
It is gonna hurt. In fact, I would not be surprised to see something like a Shadow Flame being played on the Void Caller soon. But we need to have the demon there first. Oh, Defender Argus, how convenient.
Oh man, problems at one after the other for Silfer. Gosh.
Siphon Soul. Easy gaming. And here comes the damage. Packs a punch. Down to 20 instantaneously. 11 health just vanished like that.
Man. So, okay, so should we, okay, so we were saying that Handlock wasn't pretty much doing well in the current meta. But is it right now? Is it a result of Culling Dash getting good draws and Silfer not getting the draws that he needs?
Yes, definitely. In both games of Silver, we didn't see the Echoing Ooze with Mark of the Wild. We saw some pretty good synergy in the first game, but in this game it was just utter trash in his hand. And meanwhile, Culling Dash had 2 Molten Giant, 1 Twilight Drake. That's basically the draw that everyone playing Handlock wants. So if you get that, it's equivalent to maybe you have the coin and you have a Conceal, Gadgetzan, and you already have a Shadow Step in hand.
Yep.
And you top deck Leroy in the first 3 turns. You know that the game's done, and you have Cold Blood as well, and you got Preparation already there. So it's like everything you need is there. All the Califair, all the SI Agent, and all the funny backstab, they're not there. And it's okay, it's good. So I think that in this particular instance, Handlock is doing well only because Silfer don't have the solution. But that
he
again,
does have the Big Game Hunter that's gonna stop the bleeding for now. He can put up a defense with Jordan of the Claw, which is, I think, what he's gonna be doing now. Yep. Okay, so some amount of board control back with Silfer. Unless Culling Dash has a Shadow Flame play.
yeah, he does have Shadow Flame.
Okay.
Oh, Doomguard doesn't discard Shadow Flame. How lucky is that? And still going for face here. So I see 6/4, big taunt. And what did Doomguard discard again?
I didn't see what Doomguard discarded.
Oh shit, man. I think he threw away. He played Sacrificial Pact there, and what else did he draw?
Oh man, Silfer has absolutely nothing against this right now.
Yeah, nothing at all. No taunt.
I think
nothing.
he's done.
Indeed.
16 health is not a health you want to be with a Doomguard in play. Doomguard in a Handlock. Very interesting.
Oh, he's gonna play Soulfire for 5. He's gonna play Soulfire for 5. Doomguard's in Handlock only because of Void Caller.
Right.
He's gonna try and get some extra health, but is it gonna be enough? 6 plus 4, 10 plus 2, 12. And a top deck Hellfire, but not enough mana to use everything at the same time. He could always Shadow Flame to clear the board. And he could Shadow Flame the 6/4 after the attack for 9 mana. Of course it's expensive, but at least, Silfer stays alive for 1 turn.
Yeah.
Oh no, I attacked with it first, come on! Oh my god. Did he not attack with the Doomguard? Are you trying to tell me he did not attack with the Doomguard? There's no Sylvanas there, right? There is no way he could have missed that. Why did he not attack with the Doomguard? That was 6 damage. That was 6 wholesome damage.
So we're gonna get a silence on the Sludge Belcher for sure.
He still wins this game anyway. I only hope he Hellfires after he attacks with the 2/3.
Yeah, absolutely right.
That's like Hellfire so far. Don't Hellfire before you attack with the 2/3. If not, that I don't think it's gonna be enough. Is it gonna be enough? Yeah, I think it's still gonna be enough. How ridiculous is this? No, it's not. It's like 7 plus 3, 10. So you need to attack. Yes, sir. Well done. Hellfire and Soulfire. Deadly combo right there. So 1/1. 1 apiece.
1/1. So Silfer in his decks remaining are Rogue and Warlock. So depending on the type of Rogue, it might be good against Handlock. I think Miracle is good. Unless... How do you feel about Miracle against Handlock?
I think that Miracle definitely have its answers, like Sap, you know, and effectively Eviscerate to clear some giants. But Handlock deals quite, does quite well with that, especially since it's got like different Argus, it's got Doomguard, it's got Sludge Belcher. I think that Handlock should have a better chance against Rogue, and Rogue may not be as good.
Yep.
You will want to zoo that down. I think zooing it down is the right way to go here.
Yeah. So it looks like he's going to be going with that. Also, Silfer going to go to his Warlock. Let's see what kind of Warlock it is.
Yeah, pretty excited to see that. So we're now still waiting for them to go into game, and once they go in, we should be able to bring you the match. Silver's taking some time to decide. Culling Dash. Do note the winners are allowed to change the classes here, so it may not still be the same handlock that you witnessed a little bit earlier. It could be a zoo. And just the way I mentioned that, Power Overwhelming, Defender Argus, Soulfire may not be the perfect draw here for Culling Dash.
Yep. And in the meantime, okay, Silver's going to go with Handlock himself.
Oh, it's a
Classic.
handlock versus handlock.
Classic Ancient Watcher, Twilight Drake, Shadow Flame. Shadow Flame I think is going to come in crucial. I think you should keep that.
Hand rocks are just rocking.
Hand rock.
Hand rocks. Hand rocks are just rocking. Shush shush. Shashi shush. So we have Silfer with the handlock and Culling Dash also playing the handlock. He does a Molten Giant. Silfer still praying to RNG, Jesus, give me some Mountain Giant, please. He does have this Twilight Drip already. Same goes for Culling Dash, and we'll see if Silfer gets it. Silfer gets Leroy Jenkins, Soulfire, and Molten Giant. So it's pretty much the same hand, actually. 50% same, except for the coin, except for Leroy Jenkins. Both of them actually have Soulfire, Twilight, and Molten Giant. Culling Dash is Power Overwhelming, so
one thing to remember,
Mirror
Culling Dash doesn't know yet that it's a handlock.
he gets a Molten Giant for Culling Dash. Maybe Silver will get it soon. No, Siphon Soul. But Siphon Soul's good counter against Molten Giant, so not that bad. Second Siphon Soul.
Yeah. So it's gonna be
Oh, he knows.
it's gonna be a battle of who puts down the bigger threat first and deals
Second
enough.
Mountain Giant. Look at Culling Dash. His RNG is so good. Second Mountain Giant, one handlock, no taunts yet, but still good. And here, Silver coins into Twilight Drake, trying to be a threat, but he's gonna see Giants next turn, and it's gonna be, what the hell is happening? Yeah, you can Siphon Soul both Giant. He still has the Molten to deal with. No, not a big deal at all. 4-8 is gonna be such a small fry against the 8-8.
That's right. So Silver revealing his deck, and Culling Dash knows now down to put down the the Mountain Giant. So that's a pretty decent threat. Not really any way to remove the 8-8 at the moment. Two more turns to go before he can Siphon Soul it. How do you feel about just taking it out and then Soulfire? I don't think that's the best value. He can put up the defense first.
Wow, he discards a Siphon Soul. That's big. So what happens now? The second Mountain Giant comes out, and you are completely in a bad shape. Yeah, there we go. So second Mountain Giant, the 5-1 and the 2-3. But they can still kill this, and you can't even Mortal Coil that. I think it still merits of the previous play. But man, Culling Dash is so full.
Well, that's good as a handlock. Definitely want more cards.
I actually kind of like if he played Drake here instead of the Mountain Giant. I think he's just overcommitting a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So Mortal Coil is gonna draw Shadow Flame for Silver, and Culling Dash is just gonna play Twilight Drake probably. What do you think he should play?
Well, if the size of his hand is any indication, he should just play. He should just play as Drake.
Oh,
I think that's his best play.
Oh, he's just gonna throw down a Naked Sun-Free Protector, protecting nothing at all. And Twilight Drake with a Sun-Free Protector. Now that's a different story. That's a 4-10 with a taunt right there. But Siphon Soul is always out for grabs. So now that both Giants are gone, Siphon Soul is gonna be a pretty good answer here for the 4-10.
So Silver has lost his first Siphon Soul. When the Molten Giants come down, he's gonna need this Shadow Flame for sure.
Yes. It's the only way. So, okay, Void Caller, here we go. here we go. We have the Doomguard already in hand for Culling Dash. So that's the only purpose of the Void Caller. You call out the Doomguard, and that's 5/7. Right there.
That's right. So that's going to be back-to-back threats now for Culling Dash. So, okay, so he's played 2 of his Mountain Giants. He's played his first Twilight Drake, positioning his Void Caller to drop down his Doomguard. I like Culling Dash's board position. Right now, there isn't much for the side of Silfer as far as big threats. His Farseer isn't really going to do much at the moment, especially not against a Doomguard. How do you... Okay. Shadow Flame not going to get much out of it.
Nah, nothing at all. Here he can taunt up and Shadow Flame, but then it still doesn't kill the 3/1 at the end of the day, and the 3/4 becomes a 3/1, and it's still gonna call out Doomguard. But Silfer, if you place anything more, oh, Hellfire, okay, and it's gonna heal up, so the Doomguard is like, hey yo, what's up?
Okay, Hellfire is gonna take everything out, but Doomguard is in play now.
Oh, such a weird deck with Ooze as well. A lot of tech cards here. And he's still going for board control. I think just throw out the damn Ooze. It's like, what's it gonna do for you? Second Shadow Flame here for Silfer. Silfer still no minion to play in this turn yet. He can play Lower Thab. He can Shadow Flame Lower Thab, but that's not gonna kill everything as well.
His Mountain Giants are 4
Oh, but top deck silence. Top deck silence. Here we go. That's just gonna be a play. Top deck silence and
no power overwhelming to take out the Doomguard as well, unfortunately.
yeah, it doesn't have that.
Oh man. Silfer has cards that are useful for much later or for a much different board position. What he needs right now are his strong minions. His Mountain Giants aren't coming out. His Twilight Drake has been used up for one of them. Molten Giants, just one in hand that's remaining unused. So Culling Dash, I think, is... I like Culling Dash's board control. He can burst down pretty effectively later on.
Oh, Sacrificial Pack. No one plays that card. Can you hear the thunder?
Yes, I heard the thunder.
This is bad for stream because if my house gets struck by lightning, I'm gonna go out of electricity. The stream's gonna be gone, you guys. Just saying. This is a preemptive measure. Oh, okay, going for the Zoo here. And I'm going to trade the Drake for the Owl, which is a not really good trade, I feel, but I think he still wants board control. Mortal Coil anyway is going to get the Drake, so I think it's still worth the while right now. Lower Thab, you think that's going to help Silfer with anything at all?
Not at the moment, because Culling Dash has full board control.
It's game next turn, by the way, if any of those 3 survives.
Yeah.
We're looking at 12 damage on the board, plus 4 from Soulfire, that's 16, and Power Overwhelming, that's just nice 20. So Silfer here needs to kill something.
Yeah.
Does he Lower Thab and Shadow Flame Lower Thab, just to clear the board?
He can Leroy into Shadow Flame, though.
But Leroy's not going to run into anything.
Yeah. Well, Lower Thab into Shadow Flame. He has exactly the right mana for it. And it's also going to stop Culling Dash from casting anything next turn.
He's gonna play on Molten Giant for absolute cost of 8. That's about it.
Yeah.
The beauty of Handlock is that your main, muscle power doesn't come from demons. So Sacrificial Pack really is not gonna do much here for Culling Dash. And oh my God, everything just increased in prices by a lot.
So Culling Dash. So they're actually pretty even in health. Silfer has 1 more health. What's Culling Dash's play looking like?
Void Caller or Molten Giant. That's it. Anything else is absolutely ridiculous. He can tap here first. I think tapping here first is fine. If he gets a good card, he can still play that. He's still deciding what cards are left in the deck. And if it's worth the tap, I think it's still worth the tap here. You might get your second Molten Giant, which is fantastic. And there's still a lot of taunt providing minion, I think. Oh, there we go, second Molten Giant. Babael jinxed it again. And
it's a good tap, great tap for Culling Dash.
Definitely
Molten Giant definitely gonna come down. Silfer is...
Ancient Watcher.
Oh, man.
Never really gets old, does it?
Oh, man. He can play his own Molten Giant?
Yeah, but you don't really want to spend 9 mana cost just to try and advocate a trade when Siphon Soul's going to trade out real good. The thing here is that Culling Dash has Siphon Soul to address Molten Giant from Silfer, but Silfer don't have that. Oh, but the Faceless solves all problem. All problems solved instantaneously. You Faceless the Molten Giant, you get one more Molten Giant, and you bait out Siphon Soul, you play your own Molten Giant, but still, there's a lot of answers in the hand for Culling Dash. There is always the Power Overwhelming, there's always the Shadow Flame, the Void Caller, and something else, and I think that yeah, Silfer may not be in a good spot.
Yeah, just not enough defense or not enough mana to put up some sort of defense. And oh gosh, is he gonna play Molten Giant now?
No, he's deciding to go for the Taunt instead, which is a pretty interesting play. Void Caller, Power Overwhelming into Shadow Flame is gonna clear the board. Sludge Belcher, interesting. Sludge Belcher is pretty good. I would like to see a tap first. Okay, he's just gonna go for Void Caller into nothing at all. Really, just run the Giant into that.
Okay, Sludge Belcher putting up some decent defense. It's gonna be
again.
Oh gosh.
He can just copy Molten and Shadow Flame. I think it's pretty expensive, but it kind of solves all problems so far.
Yeah, I agree.
So because of all these spontaneous answers that Silfer has been doing since the start of this entire game, Culling Dash on the other hand has just been giving problems. There might be an issue whereby Culling Dash may not have enough problems for Silfer, and he has all the answers left like Shadow Flame, but no minions to use them. That's a possibility there.
Yeah. I like your play though of Faceless Manipulator into Shadow Flame. That's gonna tidy up the board and the side of Culling Dash.
Oh man, the thunder is really scary, guys. The stream is shivering. Can we please don't disconnect, because I do not want a blackout. A blackout in this instance is really, really bad. He's gonna Shadow Flame that. He's gonna Mortal Coil the Molten Giant and gets his own Molten Giant, but very expensive. Sludge Belcher. Showdown between the Belchers.
It's a Belch fight.
Yep, it is. Hellfire.
Strongest burper
wins the fight.
wins the fight.
Hellfire here is not. Oh, Doomguard. That's gonna be a sign. Sacrificial pack gonna be used on the 3/2. Before that, Molten Giant might get thrown out as well. And we are also looking at healing up. We're looking at dealing substantial damage. We're looking at Doomguard just being able to address the first Sludge Belcher, and Mark 2 of Sludge Belcher would be addressed by the 3/3 there.
Yep.
And wow, okay, I like this. Yeah, this is why they run Sacrificial Pack here. Just instant kill. Doomguard says hi, kills the 3/5, and this 3/3 is gonna kill off the other 1/2. And what about no more Shadow Flame here? No more Shadow Flame for Silfer, so no more answers. He's ran out of answers. Ran out of answers completely.
No.
Used up
Sludge
all
Belcher in
Shadow
play, and now Mountain Giant decides to show. Oh gosh, that's such
Silfer's
bad timing.
first crushing defeat on stream.
This stream is cursing the people that we're expecting to win.
Yeah. Today's just not a very stream happy day, but I mean, what can he do here? He already used up the Shadow Flame on a 2/3. I don't like that at all. He's gonna lose the... Oh wow, that's expensive. Now he's gonna play a Mountain Giant for the full cost of 10.
Oh gosh.
And
yeah,
we
like
will
you said,
see a Power Overwhelming into a potential... So far, is there a BM? No, there's no BM. This is a 0/10 BM. No Siphon Soul, no Shadow Flame, nothing. Screenshot saved. Yes, I bid Silfer. Alright, good stuff there. Of course, that said, we will have Culling Dash walk away with that series 2-1, and he progressed undefeated into the last round of Swiss, will win himself a spot into the top 8 just by winning here.